Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 8th episode of the oil-based baking series with me, Jessie Sheehan Bakes, and Colavita olive oil. Very excited today because, not only because it's our 8th episode, but also because I am making, wait for it, strawberry olive oil scones. You may not have known that you can make scones with olive oil instead of butter, but you can. I like to put a little heavy cream in my scones as well for extra richness. So this is like a heavy cream olive oil scone. Let's go. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to put 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 1/4 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 baking soda, and 1 teaspoon salt into a bowl, and 1/4 cup sugar. And that's light brown sugar. I like to use light brown. And I'm gonna whisk that together. Just kind of pull it all together, easy peasy. Da-da-da. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up our wet ingredients. So I have a 1/2 cup of Colavita olive oil. I have 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream. Like I told you before, I kind of like the richness that the cream brings when I'm making a scone. And I have 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I'm gonna whisk my wet ingredients like this until they're all nice and combined. I like the egg and the heavy cream to be super cold. I think that helps make for a super tasty scone. Now I'm going to add my dry, and I'm going to grab my spatula, and I'm just going to kind of combine the ingredients until we have a dough that kind of almost comes together. I don't want to overmix. It's super important with scones. We want them not to be over-mixed. There we go. I see a little clump of brown sugar, and I'm just gonna pop that out. This smells, I was gonna say tastes, but it smells so yummy. Okay, next, we are going to, I have this handy little like silicone mat that I love to use when I am like kneading baked goods. I sprinkle a little flour. It just keeps my kitchen a little bit cleaner. And I'm kind of really into clean, are you guys? I'm gonna dump out my scone dough. Boop. So this recipe calls for a cup of strawberries. In this instance, I'm using a cup of chopped strawberries. In this instance, I am using frozen ones. You can use fresh if you have them, but I like to use frozen. And I'm just gonna kind of place them here, and then I'm gonna kind of knead them into the dough, like so. And the dough is probably a little more wet than a regular scone dough, because it's not, and I like to flour my hands while I do this, because it's because of the olive oil, and you can see it has a really beautiful color. I'm gonna fold it once more, or rather knead it once more. And you know what's nice about the frozen strawberries is they kind of, oops, looks like we need some strawberries on that side. I'm gonna need once more to bring the strawberries on that side. The strawberries are so cold that they make our dough really nice and cold, and I love that. So I kind of pat this into a round, like so. And then I'm gonna take my bench scraper. I like to get a little bit of flour on it, and I'm gonna cut this into 8 scones. Dun, da, da, da. Now, you can see I have not a lot of room. Oh, here we go. And grab my sheet tray, and it has some parchment on it, and I'm going to transfer my scones. Can you get in here and take a peek at like all these layers of strawberries? Doesn't this look delish? And I don't know about you guys, but I love the color of these because they're kind of yellow from the olive oil, which I think is super pretty. Oops, just moving that one so I can just fit them all. Now I have a little egg wash, And the egg wash peeps is 1 egg and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I like to put a little bit of salt in my egg wash because it helps break down the whites so that you get something that's really kind of cohesive and easy. You know, it comes together and is easy to brush on our scones. And the reason we brush the egg wash on is because it gives the scones the most beautiful color once they are baked. So that's why we do an egg wash, just for looks, because it makes them kind of shiny. And we put on our egg wash. Dun, 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 dun. And now I'm gonna grab some sugar. Hold on. So I love to use this sugar. It's called Turbinado Sugar. And again, I do that for sparkle and crunch. So I'm gonna move this over so you guys can see. And I'm just gonna sprinkle sugar on all of my olive oil strawberry scones. Now I'm gonna place this into the freezer for about an hour. It's best to bake your scones from frozen because it stops them from spreading. Then, once they are frozen, we're gonna stick them into a 375-degree oven for about a half an hour or so, rotating at the halfway point. So I will see you after these come out of the oven. So look at these peeps. Our strawberry olive oil scones are out of the oven. They are beautifully browned. You can see the sparkly sugar. You can see they're lightly browned on the bottom. You can see those yummy strawberries poking, poking, poking. Now I'm gonna take a bite. They're really crumbly. They do have a different texture than a scone with butter, but an equally kind of delicious, slightly crumbly, really rich from that heavy cream and from the olive oil. So, so, so yummy. And then the strawberries are so delish. Thank you so much for joining me in episode 8 of the oil-based baking series with me, Jessie Sheehan, and Colavita olive oil. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.